Good afternoon, Off the Bench Sports family. Welcome to episode 2, not 1 but 2, Uncensored Football Coaches Show, Regional Coaches Show. Joining us today, very special guest, very special guest. He's well beloved in his environment. I want to make sure I get his name right. Y'all know I be tripping about them names. So please welcome joining us is Marcquez Lewis. He is the AD and head football coach at Beau Chene High School, home of the Gators. Welcome.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Appreciate it. Look, I ain't even gonna call you on the first mistake with his Marcus. You know what I'm saying?
It's that, hey, the thing I said reads Marcquez, Marcquez,
I
is
know, man.
Marcus.
I know, man. I tell my mom every day, man. If you really want to name me Marcus, spell it the old-fashioned way, man. You just got fancy on people, and
Yeah,
now I'm getting letters from people thinking I ain't even a grown man.
yeah. So we want to start the show off with saying, everyone, please join me in saying happy birthday to Coach Lewis. It's his 37th birthday. He's right there on point, where he's supposed to be, doing what he's supposed to be doing. And I'm just good at ages. Don't worry about it. Don't be trying to figure out in your head, man, how do you know I was 37?
That is some good math. I was wondering how you knew that, but hey, it's out.
Yeah, it's out. Happy 37, man.
Yes, sir.
Um,
Thank you, bro. Bless it. Thank you.
let's get started by giving the viewers a little bit of history on Marcus Lewis.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, first off, man, thank you for having me on the show, man. Love the things you're doing, bro. I got great things going, so I'm real supportive of everything y'all do. But for me, man, history goes back. Just a guy from New Iberia, Louisiana. Uh, Third son, fourth child for my parents, and shout out to them. Love y'all. See y'all in a few. Uh, Graduated from the Westgate High School in New
Yeah,
Iberia,
yeah, I
Louisiana.
like that. I like.
First class, by the way, first class. Shout out to my O2 guys. It's our 20th year coming up, man. So let's do this. So graduated from there in '02. Went to LSU. I was also a student athlete over there. Excelled in a few sports back home, but football was my main sport. That was the thing I was pretty good at. Uh, was got a I played there for 3 years under Coach Nick Saban. In 2003 and four, we was fortunate to go to the BCS National Championship where we won it, and it was a great experience from there, man. I learned a lot from it. Just learned good things from it. Yeah, yeah. I got a few of those. Few of those.
What's that? Man,
Man, I keep it in the.
you gotta
It's in
send
the
me
box.
to get it. You gotta send me
Oh,
to get it.
man, it's in the box, man. You really want to see the rings,
Yeah, you
man?
gotta.
Oh,
We gotta show that to the viewers, man.
God,
Get
man,
get
hold
these.
on.
We gotta give these kids some hope.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Look. My beautiful assistant slash wife is helping me out. She don't want me to leave the camera.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was a great experience. I mean, uh, even for somebody that don't even have that kind of aspiration, but the experience taught me more outside of football than anything. So when I got there, I was just a nobody. Nobody knew my name. Nobody knew who I was. Uh, I was just regular old, Joe. And with some good coaches, with some good hard work, some determination, I was fortunate enough to even get some field time my second year there, and it wasn't very much, but it was enough. And that year we actually won it. And look, let me just show you a few of them. Look, I don't even like putting them on, but look, this one right here is the BCS title game ring. Just, they don't make them. they don't make them as small now. You know, when
Right.
LSU gets a championship, they about as big as this box.
Right.
But this is the first ring I got. You know, a national championship ring. Yeah, this from the BCS. Back then, that's when it was the BCS. They don't do the playoffs anymore.
Right.
So that's one of them. And then there's the one from the school. The school actually got us. So yeah, this.
Wow. Oh yeah, that's nice,
Yeah,
man.
you got to look closer, man. That's why I say it ain't as big as they used to. That's the beta version. You know, but
No,
yeah,
it's good
bro.
stuff.
Yeah, man. And then from there, I stayed 3 years, but I started realizing my educational attainments wasn't being met. You know, I started putting, you know, the sports before the school, and with that mixture, that don't work together. You're a student
Right.
athlete, one thing student, and I was putting the athlete in front of the student. Therefore, I had to make some true, changes. And from there, I was fortunate enough to uh, have some good coaches, like I said, speak on my behalf at another school at Nicholls State University in Thibodeau, and I was fortunate to even earn a scholarship over there. So I played my last 2 seasons over there. And then 2005, which was my junior year, we were fortunate to win the first conference championship in about 25 years, 30 years. So this is the ring that commemorates that. So I honestly, of those three rings, I'm probably most proudest of this one because you know this this year I really was focused. I put my priorities in line, school, athletics next, but somehow it just worked together. It married well, and I was able to graduate in 2007, got my first degree, and from there just went back home to New Iberia, and I became a coach. Um, which is funny because that wasn't what I had originally planned to do. I wanted to go into the medical field. I wanted to be a physical therapist. So I had a coach that even told me that, man. He said, one day you'll be a great coach. I'm like, man, I ain't trying to get that, man. I'm trying to make money. You know what I mean? So therefore, I ended up going home, becoming a coach at a school called Catholic High of New Iberia, which is a private school out there, and it's a good school, man, too. In fact, I got a little niece and nephew that's go there, so shout out to them. And taught 4 years, coach football, basketball, girls basketball, boys and girls track there, and that took me. That was a great experience. I learned about just getting my coaching feet wet, and then got out of that for some reason because like I said before, I was trying to go into the medical field. So I said, man, I would kick myself or I regret it if I don't try, and I did. And
Right.
so got out the coaching game, went into PTA school out in Baton Rouge, and then as I was noticing while I was living out there, I was still watching football. I was still going to coaches' practices. I was still calling people. I was always around football, and it just dawned on me. I was like, no, this is what you called to do. This is where your passion is. And so from there, I know it's an extended story, but from there,
No,
brought
you're
me
good.
to Livonia High School, which was my next coaching job or my second coaching job. And I had a great experience there, man, learning, with some good people, man. Got good coach, a friend of mine named Quinn Payne hooked me up with that job, and I appreciate him for that too, because he opened that door for me. And so taught 1 year, coached 1 year there, and I was still driving from New Iberia at the time. So that started to get wear on me. So decided to take a job at where I am, which is called Beau Chene, and uh, a guy named Josh Guidry. Big shout out to him for opening the door and letting me in. And I got my first. I worked in there as a high school coach, track coach, and from that built great relationships that transpired for a long time. And 2 years. That's after the second year got a little closer to home and worked at Carencro High, and from there had a great experience, man. Man had uh, great athletes, great program, and we was fortunate enough to win a state championship. Now, yeah, I know you ain't gonna make me go get that one, man. That's
No,
something
not
special.
gonna make not gonna make you go get that one, coach, because I know that's a big one. I already seen
Yeah,
Karen Pro rings from last year.
yeah, man. So
They nice.
that that was a major, that was a big moment too, man. So fortunate about that, and so blessed for that. But uh, you know, the season ended, and I, was granted an opportunity. I got a call. A guy was told about this job, and I jumped at it because, again, the relationships I had over there was just so big and so great. That community, I have an affinity for it. I know those kids. Most of them kids still talk to me to this day. The ones that are not playing anymore. My family, my wife's family, she's around that area. So it was just a match. It's just a match made in heaven, man. I appreciated it.
Man, for a guy that's young, you've done a lot of stuff in the coaching world. At what point did you know that you wanted to be an educator?
Uh, be honest with you, I think it was just second nature. It was embedded in me. My parents, both of my parents, my father and my mother were both educators. My brother, he's a coach and an educator. My dad was my principal in high school. My mother, I went to school with her when I was growing up because I went to the school she taught, and man, it is almost second nature. Our house was built on the foundation of getting an education, and
Right.
they always preached to me that your education is something that you can never be taken away. Athletic ability, talents, those things can go, but that educational foundation was something that they always instilled in me, and I guess it just carried over to me, and it's something that I feel passionate about even as I go into it, because with coaching, it's really more, it's an educational field. You, even when you're coaching, you're educating. So,
Right.
it's definitely something that I always kind of just been, embedded in.
Hey, listening to your story, and we haven't even got into any meat and potatoes. We're just at the soup and salad portion.
Right.
It just seems like you're going to be destined to do a lot of great stuff here at the high school level, and that's what we need more. Like talking to you on the phone, talking to you now, you hear a lot of enthusiasm and passion in your voice. Is that transferred with you as well, with both from both of your parents being educators? Is that a big part of how you got this great energy that you're bringing with you?
Oh yeah, man. My parents, man, they're both enthusiastic people. Especially my father, man. Richard Lewis, man. He definitely always had a personality and always had passion in what he did. He was always um, guided to push me somewhere to do something to the best of my ability. If I'm not going to do my best, if I'm not going to put my all into it, well, then don't do it at all. You know
Right.
what I mean? So, uh, and my mom, she's a dedicated person as well. And, the passion I get is just from the way they taught me, and that's something I always admired about them, because the way they teach me is the same way they'll teach your children or the next person's children. So it's not
Right.
that they're bias anybody. The way they feel for one person is the way they feel for all that, and that's just I guess the blessed nature in them. So I just appreciate that they've instilled that in me and my family and my brothers and sisters. So I was very grateful for that.
You got a few days under your belt now as an educator and as a coach. what was one of the first things you learned about yourself as an educator and a coach that you use now to help you bolster a state championship?
Um, First thing I learned about me is that, well, the first thing I learned is that with just being a coach, man, you just gotta care. It's more than just sports with these kids, man. You know, it's you're not building a football player. You're not building or developing a baseball player or a basketball player or a track athlete. You're building young men and women and people that you want to see in the community one day to reflect the things that you taught them. You know what I
Right.
mean? It's like almost like raising your children. You know, you you want them to be the best that they could be. You know, because when they go out into the world, they'll be ready for whatever challenges or for whatever things that may come their way, and they'll be prepared. You know, so when I go into this coaching field, man, I look at it as I'm not just teaching X's and O's how to catch a
Right.
pass or how to tackle. I'm teaching them how to be a better person. I'm teaching them how to be a better father, a better mother, or a better person in their community, a better son, a better daughter. You know, one day they could be better fathers and better mothers. So, it all comes from caring. So that's the first thing I learned about me, how passionate I'm about other people. Because, whatever I'm doing in life, I want to make sure I'm having an impact on the people that I interact with. So that being said, it's just, you know, gotten just wanting to care and be involved with that person and know that you know a support, know that you with them, know that you for them. And that's one thing I appreciate about the coaches I even have on my staff. They're the people that care about their community, the people that care about their their other coaches, their friends and stuff like that. So that's what it's about, just being a good person in the beginning.
Speaking of coaching staff, since you brought it up, only because you brought it up, um,
No doubt.
being that this is your first head coaching job, um, once you knew you had the position, how did you start putting your list together of guys that you thought could help you build the same type of program that you guys just won with that Karen Crow? That was a high powered offense with a solid defensive foundation.
Mm-hmm.
How, what road did you go down and saying, okay, I need Coach A. He's good with receivers, or this is the guy that I want shoring up my offensive line,
Mm-hmm.
or I got to have this guy. He's just great with quarterbacks. How did you put your coaching staff together?
Oh man. I guess, in life, you go through, you meet so many people and your experiences, you always, put into your database, hey man, one day I wanna, if I ever get a job, I'll talk to this guy. Or if I ever get a job, I'll talk to this guy. Or if I ever get a job, this would be my job. So it's almost like it was planned before it ever happened.
Right.
So, always the relationships I build with people and the the people that I feel that makes impacts on me, I always feel, but man, he will make a great asset to this program, or he will make a great asset to this program. So over time, the relationships and the people I interact with, the people I encountered in my life, I always kind of put them in the bank, and I always put in the memory bank as if, if one day I get the opportunity, I will reach out to them. Not even them, not even knowing it. That's the funny part, because I never tell them that I was gonna hire them, but it just always, was always in my memory bank. So whenever I was afforded the job, I made the first calls to the people I thought that would really help this program a lot.
Right.
And, it was just fortunate that all of them was eager to come. They all was eager to come. And now now that I feel like we pretty much got it sold up, I feel like we're going to do some great things.
I had the question right there and it disappeared. Um,
It's killing it, man. That's why I just I just answer. I just knock out five stones. I'm sorry, five birds with one stone. That's how I try
No,
to do.
no, no. This like great answers. For real, great answers. Um, but I try to stay on par, stay in line. So while we're talking about coaches, I had another coaching question, and it
Yeah,
dissipated.
go
Like
ahead.
it just pew disappeared.
No,
So,
no,
I,
man. Yeah, it happens.
um, I want to talk. I want us to talk a little bit about. I like learning about coaches, principles, and philosophies, and how do you get this young group of kids? Because I was at the graduation, I saw a lot of seniors graduate, um, male student athletes. Um, Being a new coach, bringing in a new system, new offense, new defense, new special teams traits, because all special teams isn't about scoring. Sometimes you have to stop other
Right.
people from scoring.
Yep.
In the that's the transition game in basketball.
Yep.
That's what special teams is for football.
Right.
Um, what was one of the first things that you did in starting to dig out the trench to build a foundation, to let kids know how things under your regime were going to be done? What were some of the first things from your principles and philosophies that you started setting in stone?
Yeah. I would say the first thing we did was just let the kids know we want to establish a culture over here at Beau Chene. We want to establish a culture that the community could be, want to be engaged in. So, whenever you talk about football in itself, you always want to have a foundation. You want to have a philosophy. You want to have something that you go by, and for us as a football team, I'm more of a defensive minded type of coach. So that being said, I always look at everything of stopping the other team before
Right,
they stop us. You know what I mean? I'm always protect our end zone, and then score first. But uh, as far as building the team itself, coming in and assessing the needs of the program,
right,
and the needs of the program, was just to build a culture that was just more inviting to the athletes around. And as we've gone along this path in these past 2.5 weeks, I think we gained about 15 to 20 more players just off
wow,
of just off the name and the word about what we're trying to do at Beau Chene. And you
right,
know, it's always a grind trying to get kids to come out because it's hot in the summer. It's outside. It ain't like basketball. You can
right,
control the temperature in there. You know what I'm
right,
saying? You got to put on equipment. You got to put on cleats. You got to do, all kind of stuff. But uh, this group that I inherited, the senior class, they actually was game for it. They was excited, about football,
right,
and I mean it has a lot to do with the guys, the coaches before them. They had a very structured way, a very structured style, and coming into it, notice in the structure, I just basically said, how can I use the structure that we have to invite more people in? How can we make football more
right.
exciting for this community? And so, with the help of a few good coaches, shout out to one of the basketball coaches, man, Coach Charlo.
Yeah,
What up, Scam?
my guy.
Yeah, man. He was all in with me to help, finding these kids and helping me out, and seeing who was interested, because he's from that area, he's from that community,
Right,
and he understands it. And so that being said, I just met with these kids. I talked to them, got a feel for them, how they felt about it, and pretty much all of them was like, man, I want to be here, I want to play. They were just
Right.
waiting for somebody to kind of just, and almost just kind of tell them, hey, bro, something going on over here. Won't you come through?
Right.
Hey,
Everything gonna be
party.
all right in the end.
Yeah, man. I'm like, I'm trying to invite them to look. I'm trying to invite them to a party, man. Everybody want a party, so coming to the party, bro. About to have a party over here, bro. Hey, man,
Right.
it's about to be litty. So you know, they 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 took into it and they gravitated to me, and I'm grateful for them, and I'm grateful for the coaches that we got, man. That's helping me do that. So shout out to them, man.
No doubt, no doubt. So when I'm talking to some of the basketball coaches and just general conversation, it's nothing to do with an interview, but we're just talking in general conversation. And I mentioned, hey, how many coaches you got on your bench? So let's use somebody that I talk to a lot, and that's Kenny Sykes at BTW Woodlawn. I mean BTW Shreveport. Um,
Uh-huh.
we, we're having this conversation, but it relates to you in football. So I said, Kenny, how many coaches you got on your bench? Three. I said, so I know what you're watching. You're watching the basketball.
Mhm.
What's your other coach's responsibility in game? Or he says, well, this coach has to watch this area of the court, and I want this coach watching this area of the court. So
Mhm.
you are you following me?
Yeah, I think so. I think so. You
I'm
so
about to lay it out for you. I just wanted to
go
make
ahead,
sure
go ahead.
that you were on the same path with me.
No, no,
So
go ahead.
in football, you're always watching the football being the head coach.
Yeah.
38 power.
Hmm.
What's each coach responsibility?
Well, if we're on offense, which is 38 power, then your O line coach is watching, the guys from tackle to tackle or tackle to tight end. All right. I have my offensive backs coaches. They're watching quarterback and watching running backs. I watch my receivers coach. He's watching receivers, seeing if they're lined up correctly, see if nobody's offsides, everybody's on the line of scrimmage. All right. Uh, and of course, my offensive coordinator, he's calling the play, so he's making sure he's watching over them. So it's almost like a system of, for me, I'm watching, I'm watching the work that they do on the field, but the coaches got to pay more attention to the detail in that work.
Right,
So I'm almost like I'm almost like saying that I'm almost a fan watching the game, but I'm being more astute of what the other team is doing. All
right,
right.
right.
So my guys are focusing on what their guys are doing. I'm more focused on what the other team is doing.
How,
And so,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
yeah. And so, if I'm answering the question,
No, you're definitely answering the question.
yeah,
I was just about to add another wrinkle, but I'm gonna wait.
go ahead.
I like
Oh
wrinkles.
yeah, well, oh yeah, and so yeah, I'm like as and being and learning from the coaches before me. Like last year with Coach Corville at Karen Crow, man. He was more making sure everybody's doing their job. And so I've taken that with me to this level, making sure other people's doing their job is because it's hard trying to do other people's job. And it doesn't show and plus on top of that, and plus on top of that, it doesn't show. It shows lack of faith into them. So I want to be a type of coach that trusts the people that are working with them. If I
Right,
say to do this, if I say what I want, I'm not going to have to watch over their heads or watch over their shoulders, making sure it's done. But I'm gonna see it whenever it's on the field, or I'm gonna see it whenever it's on practice. Isn't getting done. You know what I
right,
mean? So uh, I want to make sure my coaches build that relationship with their players. You know what I
right,
mean? Because each coach is building, it's a building block with them. So when I watch football or whenever I'm on the sideline, hopefully I'm more of what do I see that can help my coaches
right,
be successful? Because when I'm doing that, then we all being successful.
right. I agree with that 100%. Another coach that I talk to a lot is Coach Darnell Lee at East Ascension High School. You may be a little bit familiar with him. He was at Northwest for a stint.
Okay, yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Um,
Raiders.
he always talks about coaching the coaches.
Hmm.
You
Hmm.
know, teaching coaches about little intricacies of how they can be better coaches.
Hmm.
How do you do that as a first time head coach?
That's a great question. For me, because we have a lot of experience. We have some guys that's been coaching, just as long as me or even longer on the staff, and we got some, just starting out. So uh, as far as that goes, I look at, how they was how are they first of all talking to the players? Are they talking to the players? Are they do they know the players? Are they coaching all the players? You know what I
Uh,
mean? So
time, 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 time. You mean they got to talk to the players too?
yeah, right? Ain't that something? Ain't that something? That's a nah. But hey man, I know for sure that these coaches that we have, they know these guys, and the ones I've just brought in with me, they're learning these guys as well. So making sure that they're they're teaching, making sure they're teaching. All right, because how can a kid do something that they don't know?
Right.
Right? How can they how can they understand something that they never learned?
I agree.
So as far as that goes, I'm always in effect of the relationships they build with their players,
Right.
and as far as the X's and O's, I'm always, be in tune of what they're telling me, and if everything is in line, if the kids understand it, if uh the kids don't understand it, making sure that the coaches reiterate it to them.
Right.
Sometimes we have to stop a practice just to teach this one drill or just teach this one guy something, which I've done today. We're gonna do that. All right, because again, it's all about learning because you're gonna need that guy to do it on Friday nights or Thursday
Right.
nights. Because if he don't learn it then, he ain't gonna learn it all of a sudden
That's
coming
right.
game time. So, that's my philosophy. Just, you know, allow my coaches to teach, and foster that good relationship with them so they can feel like they're learning, you know.
Right. Right. Um, I want to hear you say. That's a great question again. So let me give you another great question. um, that's for real. I like when you guys like the questions that I try to give you guys to challenge you. Um,
Yeah, man, you digging deep, man. Digging deep, trying to, got to get deep into the philosophy. I think you're gonna ask me about passes and catches, and nah, you hitting me with
no,
some philosophy
I'm about to ask you about something that's really important right now,
All
and
right.
you give me your thoughts. Okay?
Okay.
There's a difference. One is called hitting, one is called blocking, one is called tackling.
Hmm.
All three are very important throughout the process of a football game. You got a young guy that comes in. In fact, you probably got about 25 young guys that come in as freshmen.
Hmm.
How important is it teaching them the difference between hitting, blocking, and tackling so that by the time they get to varsity, now all you have to teach is discipline in those aspects?
Hmm. Well, you said the key word in that, man. Well, discipline, man, because with hitting, blocking, and tackling, those are all things that uh, you have to, want to do. It's one of the things
Right,
you have to want to do. You have to be disciplined in doing it. I feel like they all coincide with each other. As being a defensive person, I always feel that your players got to be disciplined. They have to be, especially on defense, because I believe, as a defensive player is all reactionary. You're
right,
not the one with the ball. you're defending the man with the ball. So you have to be disciplined to what you see, And I always ask my players, what are you looking? Are you looking at the right things? Are you
Right.
doing, are you seeing the right things? And if they aren't, then they won't make a right decision.
Right.
So uh, as far as that goes, all those aspects of football are disciplining still because like an old lineman, if he don't know the snap count, all right, or if he doesn't move on the right snap count, well, guess what? Your action penalized the whole team. So it's all about being disciplined in that factor. So discipline is should be definitely taught throughout the entire program, whether it's on the offensive side, defense side, special teams. Got to be disciplined and you got to be tenacious. That's a word you got to you got to have a want to do those things.
Right.
This football is not one of those sports where you could just run away from people. You gotta be tenacious. You gotta be tough. And you gotta have a want to do things. And I
Right.
tell those people. I tell my kids you have to have intention in what you do. Let
That's
what you do have a purpose. Be intentional about what you're doing. You know what I mean? Because if you're not, then it'll show.
right.
So, those things are very important to our program and important to what we do as coaches and what we teaching them that.
Right. I can't agree with you more. But what I want for you to do is give us a scenario of a JV guy.
Okay.
Give us a scenario of a JV guy that's just getting the opportunity to come up and compete
Mhm.
at the varsity level, and he's deficient in hitting.
Mhm.
Maybe he wasn't caught. Maybe he doesn't remember because he hasn't been a kid that gets a lot of clock.
Mhm.
But every time he go in to make a hit, heads down, looking at the ground, how do you correct that? And how do you coach your coaches to correct that?
Well, first of all, I bring it to the attention to that kid. Listen, man, what you're doing right there, that's not safe. You know what I mean? That's not a safe, action that you're doing. So you could hurt yourself. All right. So, but if if he's not understanding, then we need to reset. We need to stop. We need to stop this for it. Don't continue it. All right. Like I said, injuries happen all the time, but you don't want to
Right.
enforce it. So protecting the kids is always important. But I always that's usually my first day things, fundamentals. Teaching fundamentals is
Right.
the first thing. You know, when we get out there first day in August, when we put on the pads, we're gonna do fundamental drills. We're doing fundamentals, just like in basketball. You're gonna do fundamentals. You're not gonna come out there and then run plays. You gotta learn fundamentals because those
Say
fundamentals
it
don't
again,
leave.
coach. Fundamentals. You got to get it.
Fundamentals.
Yeah, I
Yes,
like
yes.
that.
So is got to teach fundamentals because those that won't leave whenever you go into the drills or the
Right.
plays or the game. You're going to still have to practice them throughout you know the entirety of the your career there. So that being said, if a kid is deficient in those fundamentals, then we got to back it up for him to understand and have him learn that. All right.
Right.
And so I feel, in my experiences, once you do that and you teach them fundamentals and you keep it simple to make them understand that part of it, it only blossoms as it goes. Because a lot of times you get kids at it that play football, they ain't never been on a team before. They ain't
Right.
never seen football or you know what I mean? They nah man, you can't dribble that or you can't pitch that. I'm not pads, what's that? Nah, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? So fundamentals is always something that we want to teach in our program, and it'll never stop.
uh, we got a little round thing. we generally eat them. It's called the donut. In football, you guys have a donut. It's used to help kids understand proper mechanics on tackling.
Yeah, yeah,
No, I know that you said that that's first week stuff, but it's week
yeah,
5.
yeah.
One or two kids are still one, one or two kids are still missing a boat on proper tackling form. What's the
Hmm.
next step?
And the donut is not working, is what you're asking?
That one.
Oh, okay. So the donut is not working. Wow. Well, you got to slow it down, man. You really got to slow it down. You got to teach. First thing is getting a proper stance. All right. So if it's just tackling involved and it's not doing it properly, first thing you got to do is what are your objectives? First thing you want to get in a good stance. All right, when you're tackling or before you're tackling, you want to have good body position. All right. So first thing and the next thing is what are you looking at? All right. Like I said before, you can't hit what you can't see. All right. What is your target? What are you looking at? So if your head is down, then guess what? You're going to hit the ground. All right. So if your head is on the football or your eyes are on the football, well, guess what? You're going to be hitting the football, or better yet, who's holding it. So, having proper technique as far as stepping, having the right steps, all right, using your arms, dropping your waist, all right. Whenever you make contact, you're keeping your head up, you're wrapping up, you're following through with your arms violently, and you're driving your feet. Those simple things are what we teach with tackling.
Did you just say violently?
Yeah, man. I mean, yes, you like I said, intention. What's your intention whenever you do this? Like whenever you see somebody try to dunk a basketball, they don't dunk it. Uh,
I, I
they
got,
they
hey,
do
I
it.
gotta shout out my boy. I gotta shout out my boy Kwame Brown. Did you wake up violent today? Hey, hey, that may need to go on the back of a shirt. Did you wake up violent today?
Did you wake up violent today? And you know what? You know what? When look, I like my kids whenever they outside the lines. I like them as peaceful as peaceful can be. When they get in between them lines, is violent intentions. But
Right,
whenever
right,
you gonna feel me whenever whenever I touch you.
right.
So I want intentions on that. You know. So yeah, we gotta teach that whenever we play because you know it's a I tell people like that it's a legal football ain't nothing but a legal fight. Ain't
That's
nothing but
right.
a legal fight out there, man. So it's about who has the better intentions on winning that fight. They usually win.
Um, I don't know how much time we have left, but I do know that I want to talk to you a little bit about offense, seeing that you said you're a defensive minded guy.
Hmm.
That defense is your speciality. Um, what went into your thoughts when you were deciding on the guy that was gonna be the person that makes your offense go? Um, did you already know who you wanted as an offensive coordinator, or did you say, "Hey, Nick, when you keep picking up these outstanding offensive coordinators, what are you looking for?" So,
Yeah, yeah.
did so? What I'm asking you is did you already know who you wanted to use, or did you consult other peers in what may be the best route to go down for the offense that you think is what's best gonna suit your kids?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, that is, you're always consulting. I'm always consulting coaches all the time. Even established ones, even ones that's coming up. Learning football, talking to them. I done visit different schools, and listen to how their approach to offense is, because not only you get to learn some good things, but now you understand what could beat you. So for me, um, I always had in mind of the people that I wanted. Always, like I said, built those relationships in time. I always understood what I wanted, but sometimes what you want is what you want, conducive to what you want to do,
Right.
and or who you want is what is conducive to what you do. So that said, whenever I got in touch with one of my offensive coaches, I told him in the beginning, look, man, you might be just doing, just the receivers or just the quarterback, but if need be, would you be able to coordinate and run this offense? And when he was all for it, I said, could, just letting you know, we're gonna do this in this offense.
Right.
so so just to let them know, like, look, man, I'm it's your baby, it's your child. You get to cultivate it how you want, but I'm parenting too. So guess what? You know, and I as a parent, as your co-parent to this, I want to see this.
Right.
So that said, they was all for it. They understood it. They liked it, and it is getting into the makes right now.
That's awesome, man. That was just a little that was just me challenging you, man. I'm sorry. I didn't mean nothing by it. I ain't even lying, man. I wanted to see how you were gonna respond to the question. That's all.
Oh yeah, man. Oh man, this man. I like these questions because you know what? As you asking me this, some of them answers I'm gonna write down to make sure that's what I really want. I'm saying it now. I'm making sure. Hey man, did I say the right thing? Because you know what? I don't want to be called back on the table when it don't work.
Oh no, like that's why in sports you have situational situations
Mhm.
where you get to try stuff, and if it doesn't work the way you want it to, you get to go back to the drawing board and say, okay, that didn't work. We
Right,
need to go down this road to
right,
see if this is gonna work. Because
right.
sometimes guys want to run the spread
Mm-hmm.
because it looks cute, it looks colorful,
Mm-hmm.
and if you have a Hobart Grayson the fourth or Chris Hilton,
Mm-hmm.
or one of those guys that can get out that field, you know, then the spread is a beautiful thing.
Right, right,
But
right,
sometimes you need to go wing right, power I,
right,
motion left,
right, right.
counter.
right, 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 right. But I mean, when you got a Hobart Grayson, man, I could do what I want on offense, man. That's what I'm saying, man. Just throw him out. Look,
He
I
wasn't
don't
really that good
look,
though.
man. Just put him at quarterback, and everybody take a knee while he just runs school touchdown.
Bro,
You
you
know.
must have saw my son play. Wow, hey, you did some homework on me. Oh, I like that. I like that. I like that. Yeah, hey, I see I'm not the only one that be profiling.
Hey man, hey.
Hey, I'm telling you, I ask a lot of people about you
Oh
before I
man,
even text you.
is that right?
Oh
Oh
yeah, I had to, because that's the only way that we build a great relationship. Is I need to know who Marcus Lewis is,
yeah, 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 yeah,
and
man.
so I like to know what makes coaches.
Yeah,
I like to know what make y'all great.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, hopefully, man, I can be great, man, because I wanna build something great with this program, man. I feel like it's time for them to be on the map for football, just like every other sport. They've been
Oh yeah,
successful.
man, y'all, you guys, and I'm only saying this because I'm I'm a fan of high school athletics.
Yes, sir.
All right, I'm a fan of high school athletics, and I do a lot at your guys' school. You know, and so Chris doing a wonderful job in basketball. Track at Beau
Mm-hmm.
Chene this year, boys and girls, was
Mm-hmm.
phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
Um, next up, football, baseball,
Yeah,
soccer.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um,
And
I,
and it's crazy, man, because you're right. I was told, I think I was pretty much told like all of them made postseason last year.
yeah,
Every last one of those boys in
I
the game
talk.
made the postseason last year.
I always have trouble remembering his name, but y'all soccer coach, we talked on yesterday
Dream,
morning.
yeah. Hmm.
And like he's just a cool coach. Like he
Hmm.
loves what he does. He enjoys it, and you can't ask for any more than that because you know that
Yeah,
if I love what I do and I enjoy what I love, then I'm gonna give 5150 on this. I'm giving everything I got, and so
yes, sir.
that's I want to tell you this, okay?
Hmm.
You've done a lot of stuff right. It's not anyone that I talked to that didn't say you were a phenomenal person. Like everybody had high praises for Marcus Lewis, and all that means plus,
Man,
and that's why you'll go ahead and do great things uh, at Beau Chene football and as an athletic director. If it's any, I hope I'm not under time. I just don't remember what time we started, but I think we're close to an hour.
oh
Um,
word.
yeah, it went. I think I'm not that smart. That's why I talk to you guys to increase my knowledge.
Man.
Um, and so I think we're close to an hour. All I try to keep you is an hour, and then you have a birthday dinner tonight. Um, you already shouted out the wife, Miss Lewis. You
Hmm.
shouted out the parents, Mr. and Mrs. Lewis.
Hmm.
Who next?
Oh man, I mean, shoot, it's a family, man. It's a family, bro. I got my brother. Yeah, shout out to him, Jamar Lewis at Laurelville High School. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I got to get big bro. Well, honestly, big bro, that's kind of been my inspiration. He's the one that made me think that I could be a head coach. You know what I mean? I always was following behind him, even with athletics. He when he wanted to be a college athlete, that's when I decided I wanted to be a college athlete. When he wanted to coach, you know what I mean? I thought it was coaching was cool. I thought coaching was cool, and now he became a head coach of baseball, and he's been successful at it. And he was like, man, you can be a head coach, you can lead. You don't think so, but you can lead people, and
Right,
you just believe it. And I never assumed that that was always going to be given to me, but I got to thank Ms. Achan for making that possible because you know with this group of kids that we have here, man, I'm telling you, man, I think they're going to do some great things. I really do. And they just need the right guidance, the right motivation, you know, and I'm excited, man. I
right.
know you could tell
Oh
excited
yeah, yeah.
because
I feel it Ubering into me. I'm telling you, you almost got me with some tears coming in the corner of
oh
my eyes, man. Because let me explain to you why. So my family shout out to my oldest brother Tony. Shout
yes
out
sir.
to my next brother Johnny. Shout out to my next brother Ricky,
Hmm.
and the big sis Renee.
Yes
Um,
sir.
all of us play sports,
Hmm.
and because Johnny loved basketball and football and soccer, and he played the trumpet and
Hmm.
did all those other things. I absolutely fell in love with sports, and as we
Right,
grew older, I was always the runt, and so I had to take a few body shots, and or if we were playing football, in between the houses, you had to play with the big kids or you wasn't gonna play.
oh
And
yeah, no doubt.
they didn't take any pity on you. They ain't have no mercy on you. Or
Hmm.
if we were at the park playing ball or at the Boys and Girls Club or at Marbles Rec, like you had to get it in. But it was at the end of the day, it was no mercy. And up
Mm-hmm.
until my son, my brother Ricky was the purest shooter that I've ever been around. And so I never attained the shot that they got. I got my own shot that's pretty good. But
Uh-huh.
those, my brother Rick, I don't know if he even touches the ball anymore. Him and my son could flat out shoot the ball. And so I understand when you say that you have siblings that you looked up to that inspired you. I had the same thing, so I understand that.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
so, hey, man, thank you.
Oh man, it's love over here, man. I appreciate it. This felt like a conversation all day, man. I could do this for another couple hours. I'm sorry.
No, not today. You can't. I'm not getting in that one. I'm not getting in that one. You're not putting me in the closet. I'm about to let you go so you can go enjoy the rest of your day. You've had a long day at Beau Chene all day, and I got ESPN, so this is the only reason why I can say this. You had to leave a couple of times away from the school and go back and leave and go back again. And then you were finally able to come home and prop your feet up and get you a bottle of Ozarka.
You're right, and that's what I needed too.
Yeah. See, I told you I got ESPN.
You see that ESPN.
Yeah. ESPN, baby.
Yes,
So,
sir.
guys, please, happy birthday to Coach Marcquez Lewis. Thank him for joining us. He's been great. He opened up his heart and let you guys inside of it, and we won't misplace that trust. Here at Off the Bench Sports, we're givers of love, and so that's what we have. That's what we give, and so you're welcome back anytime. And hopefully, when you come back, we can get some kids to come with you, and we can talk to them. And I know we didn't talk about them today because this wasn't about them. This was about you.
Oh yeah, man. Appreciate it, man. I can't say much more than, man. Just thank you for opening, your public, your platform to me, man. This as the first interview, man. I could probably say this might be my best one. Hopefully, you know.
Hey, I try to bring it out you. I try to extract it out you.
Yeah, man. So I hope I hope to hear from you again, man. I'm a big fan, following you in the future, man. We're gonna be talking, bro. And man, I just want to say, bro, Beau Chene, let's do this. Let's do
No
this.
doubt, no doubt. This is me giving you a virtual hug. So that's one love from
Yes,
me to
sir.
you. Again, you got my number. Call me anytime, day or night. I'm up at least 18 hours a day,
Mhm.
and so I have a lot of long days, man. I don't sleep very well, so
Kind of like
uh,
me.
my mind never stops thinking about how to try to help kids. So
Mhm.
it's hard to sleep when you're in think mode, and so yeah, just call me anytime, man. Anytime, I'm good. Like that's what That's how you build great friendships and great relationships, and all that stuff meshes together, and you're great.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
uh, what's that thing? Oh, remember, get off the bench, get into the game.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you, brother.